I got off on one. Our next presenter is someone who I've never seen before. I don't know what he's like, but please, check him out first. Give him lots of love, lots of enthusiasm, and respect what he says. So give it up, please, for Mr. Josh Chandler.
Thank you. Okay, wow. I have to admit, this is our first time at BettaKultcha, so thank you, Richard, for letting me come and speak. Wow, this is a massive crowd. Yes, I'm ready. Okay, today I'm going to talk to you about why young people don't feel empowered to challenge the status quo. Gandhi once told us that you must be the change you want to see in the world. And I think it's such an important message that we need to remember that change is around us and we need to remember its importance. Obviously, this may be a familiar image to some of you who may be part of the status quo and may believe that young people are just hoodies and that they don't have any purpose or sense of purpose in life. Slightly ahead of myself there. This is what hoodies really represent to young people. This is a picture of a recent movement in America called the Million Hoodie March, which was in the case of Trayvon Martin, a murdered teenager, and they came together to unite. And obviously we all know now that young people are very informed and they're very aware thanks to the advances in internet and technology. It's something that, if you don't get technology you may not understand, but for us young people we think it's fantastic and it really empowers us. The problem is right now that the system we have, education, the welfare system, it's all kind of mixed up and it doesn't really suit young people. They waste time conforming to expectations. They don't really get a good experience in a younger life. I like to summarise it as one step forward, two steps back. So I like to say that basically for every step forward that society takes, the status quo is always pulling us two steps back. So I think there's a big disconnect there. I've got to tell you that change is inevitable. It's going to happen, whether you like it or not. As the status quo will push back against this, and I do believe overall that you've just got to accept it's going to happen. Denise McCullage, I have to read this off the slide so I didn't quite remember it. Yes, I remember now. Change is the only constant, hanging on is the only sin. I think it's a perfect quote because it really summarises what change is all about. It really tells us that if we hang on and wait, then we're actually going to miss the opportunity to make change happen. We know actually that the UK politicians out there have failed to do anything to help social change move on. They've actually tried to prevent the change happening. And it's something we need to sort out right now. Young people around the country obviously know that the politics is not making a difference, and as such we need to move on and create a new system that's going to do better. And I'm afraid to say, previous generation, older people in this audience, this is my experience, want to return to a simpler time when technology wasn't around, when the young people weren't so consumed with their mobiles. There was actually a great article in the New York Times, you should read about this, it's well worth reading. And I argue actually that it's the benefits of society that we don't go back to a simpler time. And I just want to stress that if change is going to happen, you kind of need to accept that. That's the honest truth. So how do we empower young people to create change in society? Ultimately, that's the whole point of this talk, and what I want to tell you is that we need to take immediate action. We need to be out there. There are great organisations already out there making a difference. And if we don't take immediate action, sorry, I keep moving away from the mic, so annoying. If we don't take immediate action, we're actually just going to bring society further and further back from where it needs to be. And that was longer than I expected. And I want to tell you honestly that this is our moment to make a change and change the world for the better. It's something you hear all the time, it's so cliche, I know it is. But honestly, if we don't start acting now, then we're actually going to really all the work that we've done is going to just not do as well. We don't want to wait for politicians to debate on how long how it affects the millionaires and billionaires. We want to just take action right now. And as a result, I can't remember the next slide, we live in false hope. This is the true thing of democracy, is that we do not function as well as we can do because we want to go back to that simpler time, and it just doesn't happen. It shouldn't happen. And I want to tell you that we live in false hope thinking it will. So my challenge to you is I want you to think differently about how you think about young people. and you may be a parent or a relative of a young person, and you may believe that they don't want to make a difference. But I want you to think twice before assuming that. So I just want to summarize by just saying that we're not all hoodies who live on benefits or who are unmotivated. I want you to think really carefully about what you've thought about young people in the past, because we actually want to make a difference, and Generation Y is so much more empowered with the tools we have out there now. So I just want you to just really think carefully about how you talk to young people in the future and how you address their goals and their ambitions. So that should be the end. It's just, there's a little bit of the end. There we go. Thank you.
Josh Chandler, thanks very much.